and we are going to go right back at it with the Puerto Rico Open, and this is going to be a fun one. You know why? Because nobody knows who the hell these guys are, and I think that's going to make it a lot of fun. You want to talk a little bit about the course there, Guru?
Sure. Let me change gears here right quick. And okie dokie. So it's a shade over 7,500. Still going to play par 72. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some long courses here, but being an island course, you're still going to have to deal with the wind, and the wind looks like it's going to play a part as far as some of the weather goes. So you definitely want to maybe figure out who your win guys are that have had some success, but that's kind of tough because you've kind of got a mixed bag of a field. You know, you've got a couple of vets at the top. You've got a couple of second tier guys kind of in the middle that don't really get a whole lot of PGA starts. So, you know, they may slum it in some other tours or, you know, Korn Ferry. And then you've got some younger guys up and coming that pretty much all they really have are going to be your Korn Ferry starts. And they're just all gunning for the points and the exemption and try to make this count. So this is their Masters, if you will, but the big separator, I suppose, is going to be the greens, because it's only Mayakoba, Corrales, and Puerto Rico have the same Paspalum greens, and that's definitely a bit of a different animal to putt on. But I've heard people say different things about it, but you know, there's some stats out there that you could pull specifically for the greens to find those that have actually done pretty well, and that's probably where I would start. And yeah, don't be afraid to take a price. That's all I can say. Hovland won last year at a low price. There's some decent low prices at the top, but I'm not as convinced. But it's probably a classier field than last year. But the highs are higher, but the lows are lower, and probably somebody in the middle that nobody's talking about is probably the one you're going to need. And here's hoping we can help you find it.
Yeah, I hope we can too. And so I really love the model and how it came out. Once again, I did a little bit of my own modeling, and I was really, really happy when I saw yours and how similar they were. And I was like, yes, I feel like I'm getting somewhere, and I'm pretty excited. I do have the top 12 from our model posted right now, scrolling across the bottom. But I think what we're going to do is we're not going to do any fades in this tournament, but we are going to quickly go through and talk about our favorite 10K, 9K, 8K, 7K players just real quickly, and then talk about our optimal lineup for Puerto Rico. That being said, Guru, what do you got, man?
So Grillo's got the course history. I think he finished tied for third last year. I mean, he's played this course a couple of times, and, you know, he models out pretty well. The one area that he is slightly lacking is going to be the way we baked in some of the strokes gain stats. But other than that, I mean, he's top 10% of the field as far as course history, comps, you know, form, and even the secondary stats. So he makes some sense to use. I'm not sure he's got the chops to win, but, you know, if there was a guy probably above 9,500, you know, that's probably got the best shot to win, I don't have a problem with his 18-1 odds. I would give you a fade, and it's an interesting fade. I know we're not really doing it, but I think Thomas Pieters is a bad overall favorite. And interesting thing, when you so I wouldn't touch him.
Or Thomas Pieters.
I know. I'm going to get hate mail and blocked on Twitter now. But
he's got a family.
You know, so the best comparison I can give, so you take his Euro stats and you kind of superimpose him into the PGA stats, which are really interesting. And he's like a poor man's Bryson, but he's nowhere near as good. I didn't really know a whole lot about him until I started looking at the stats and watching like old tourneys and stuff. He's really, really super long, and he can putt okay, but he has no approach game to speak of, and he has no around the green game. And those are two areas that Bryson's got him beat. So if he can ever fix that where he can improve on that, he'd actually be probably pretty solid across the board. But at this kind of place, I think you're going to need, you know, to be able to scramble a little bit. I think you're going to need some decent around the green work. And I think you're going to need some approach work. I think he's in the 100 to 120 range in both categories. So yeah, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole here. I watch him like, you know, top 10 me and make me look bad. But yeah, he's a big fade for me there. But Grillo's one I really like for sure in the 10K range.
Good deal. And Justin, you got a 10K player in this field?
Yeah, I like Poulter. I think you won't see him in this field a lot. I just think, his form that's another guy who's been kind of, hit and miss. But I think in this field, he's a big game hunter as well. He comes out for the big tournaments, usually plays well. So I think
he's also a good wind player, and if it's going to be windy out there, he's going to have an advantage. And I definitely could see that.
So that Poulter be my guy.
Drew, you got a 10K?
I like Matt Wallace. Listen, Matt Wallace has a pretty nice resume over on the European Tour. Does not play in the States a lot. He's one guy I like. Of course, Emiliano Grillo, which we've touched on, is another player I like. But
he
that
isn't
would be
a player
my
you
guy.
like? He is a player you like, or he isn't?
Emiliano Grillo, he is. Both those guys. So my two 10K guys would be Emiliano Grillo and as well as Matt Wallace. And I like Matt Wallace a lot.
Yep. I like Wallace as well, but my top two 10K guys are going to be Grillo as well, and I'm going with Poulter also. For the reason I just talked about, the wind forecast is going to be kind of nippy, kind of blowing a little bit, and Poulter knows how to play in that stuff, and he's already world class for this field, and so I think he can go out there and take it all in and perform very well in those conditions. And so those are my two top 10K guys. 9K range, what do you got there, Pro? Not Pro, but Guru.
I like Andrew Putnam. It's a name from the States, but, this is one of those tourneys when you really can't count on form. Course history is really nice, but you really can't count on it. So for me, it was a greater lean on comp courses. And then, you look at your island courses, you look at your coastal courses, you look at your courses on the beach, they're going to get affected by wind and things like that. And he's in the top 10% of the field as far as the comps go. And he's actually had some decent, run of form lately, and, he can actually putt okay. And I think he can score a little bit, and compared to the rest of the field, he's got some class that a lot of these guys don't have. So I take a flyer with him. Model didn't love him as much as some of the others because he's only 14th, but I think he's a pretty good fit. If I had to just nail one. Nice.
That would be great. 9K, Justin.
I'm going to take Ben on. For some of me, and I don't, his stats have been hit or miss as well, but I just think he's the type of guy that's, kind of head and shoulders up in this field. And, I'll roll with him as my 9K guy, Ben An.
Okay. And Pro, you got 9K?
Yeah, I like Ben On, just like Justin just said. Ben On he's a savvy guy. He plays a lot. I will take Ben On. I will also take Patrick Rogers.
Nice.
I do like those two guys, but definitely Ben On. I think he's definitely got a lot of tournament experience. He's one of the guys that you would think would be a favorite, come Sunday.
Right. There's two guys I like in that 9K range. I'm not calling them to win, but I really like these guys to have good tournaments, and that's Brandon Wu and Justin Su. And they're both in the lows. One's at 9K. Su is at 9K even, and Wu is at 9,200. I like both those guys, and I think by the end of the Sunday, they're both going to be in that top 20 range, and maybe top 10. So I really like them in DraftKings at that price point. All right, let's go to 8K. Guru, what do you got?
For me, this tourney screams balanced build all the way. So I plan on living in the 7s and living in the 8s. And if I had to pick a number, it's probably the 8K range. So I could probably spit off a couple. But
do it.
Pendrith came out third. And I really like a lot of the boxes that he checks off. I mean, about the only thing he really doesn't have is the, course history. But, if you're in form and the stats check out and, you should play based on the comps, then it's worth a flyer. And, for 8,600 on DraftKings and 35-1, he's somebody I'd put it out right on too for the tourney for sure. You get a class dropper like Lucas Glover. I mean, he doesn't really belong here. There's got to be a reason why he's here. So I take a flyer on him too, just because, it's another name you really wouldn't see here. God, I could go for days. I really like Josh Teeter. I mean, he's done well.
Yes,
here.
Second last year.
Get some birdies. He's just gonna, he travels well, and when he gets into play, he actually plays pretty well. And so, he'd be somebody on my radar too. And then, Vaughn Taylor's a win guy. He's an old guy, and, he does okay in the course. We've been riding him a little bit the last couple weeks, and in this kind of field, we're not going to get the 125 to 1 odds that we've been getting, but, I would take a flyer on him too.
All right, so we've got Pendrith, Glover, Teeter, and Taylor. Justin, What do you got in the 8K range?
Yeah, so I had Glover and Teeter. I think just piggybacking on what he said, and in a course like this, a tournament like this, I'm leaning on the model. I think.
It's easy to do.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm glad we're doing this. There's not a lot of people out there talking about this tournament, or they're throwing 1 or 2 names out there. And that's why I really wanted all 4 of us to put some thought into it and really dive deep into the model, because there's a lot of people that are needing this information. And so I'm really glad, because we're familiar with these guys, especially Teeter. I'm big on Teeter as well. I'm glad you guys are picking on him as well. But, yeah.
Came through last week for us.
Yep. All right, so Pro, where are you at in 8K?
I'm with those guys for the most part. Pendrith, Josh Teeter, based off the second last year. The one guy that I will bring up that hasn't been brought up is Ali Schneider-Jans.
I got him too.
Fantastic name. Listen, the guy had a wonderful collegiate career. His game's been kind of up, down. But this is the kind of tournament where guys like that tend to come out in front. He does have a track record of playing multiple tournaments. I mean, the guy gets out and plays. His name's Ali Schneider-Jans, and that's just a damn good name. We're rolling with it. And not just because it's a great name, but because I do believe that he is a solid play moving forward.
Only guy on the tour with no hat, right?
Yep.
So to echo that, I've got Ollie. Even though he's at the high end of that range at 8,900, I've got Ollie, and I just go by Ollie. I'm not even going to try the other thing. I've got Pendrith as well, especially where he is in our model, and then I've got Teeter, and then I've got one more. He's number 10 in our model, and that's Ryder. And so, so I like Ryder this week at 8,500, and so those are my 4 guys. I think we're all aligned on pretty much all these guys. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and get to 7K, guys. 7K Guru.
So I'm going to work bottom up. So the interesting one for me is probably Scott Brown. I mean, prior years when he's, been here, you've gotten substantially better odds. He's been somewhere in that 25 to 50 range, but he's 90 to 1 this year. He is like the Charles Howell III of this field. He comes, he shows up, he's going to make the cut. He's going to get you the top 20, top 30.
What a reference.
I thought it was pretty good.
Guru, bless you, dude. That was damn well done.
And he's got a little upside. I mean, if he gets going, who knows? I mean, he's an older guy, but I mean, he should make the cut. So, I mean, take the points and run with it. Kramer Hickok, Texas guy in the wind. I mean, that actually makes some sense. I'd probably have an outright on him too. Cam Percy's the top, near the top of the model. I'm sure we'll, I'll leave that for you guys, but he's on my short list too. I really like Barjan as well, and for 125 to 1, he I would say he's like a poor man's Pendrith, if you will. And I still think Pendrith's got a better shot, but I mean, you just need one good round to get you going. You just need to maintain from there and kind of feed off the momentum and keep the others at bay, and you'll be fine. And I think he can play in the wind a little bit. So. And then Anaban Lahiri, another classy guy in the field that probably should make some noise and probably doesn't belong here, but maybe finishes in the top 10, maybe wins the thing and moves back to play with the big boys. But those are a couple of guys I like.
I love it. These are really, really good plays in the 7K range. For those that are listening and watching on YouTube, these are really good plays. A lot of these guys are going to be in my lineups. I think there's a lot of people that are going to skip this tournament on DraftKings. This information is gold, guys. I'm looking forward to all of our followers, all of our listeners and watchers to cash really big with some of these lineups. We're going to show you the optimal lineup shortly. Hey, Justin, what are your 7Ks?
I'm going to take a stab with Ben Martin. Haven't seeing him pop up there at 11 kind of caught my eye. Haven't played him or even seen him hit a shot, and I can't tell you when the last time is. But the guy's got game, and I think in a tournament like this, you can go off the board a little bit and So I'll roll with Ben. Along with, I also like Brown. We've already touched on Brown, and
Right.
Lahari is a guy who plays with the big boys. So we'll. Those are the three guys I kind of pegged with. The only unique one being Ben Martin.
All right, Pro. We got a few 7Ks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in on Cameron Percy, as well as everybody else. It seems like that's a value play there. The other guy I like is Bryce Garnett, a guy that's kind of just went out there and struggled and fought to where he is now. And these opposite tournaments, that's what they are. These opposed to the WGCs, these are the opportunity for guys to get out there and prove themselves. I'm going to take him, Bryce Garnett, as well as Cameron Percy in my 7K.
Yeah, I'm also on Percy. I mean, the guy's fourth in our model, and he's $7,600, and he's 55-1. I've already got bet on him. I'm going with Hickok. I really like him at 7,500, and I also like Barjon, and especially that 125 number. And so I like him as well. But the one guy that I'm putting out there because he's just lights out on the greens, and that's Ventura. And he's the one name that I've been monitoring a little bit this week. Yeah. And what's that?
Said I was looking at him.
Ace, yeah. Is that Ace Ventura?
I hope he has an ace. That would be nice. But you know what? He really checked out really well for some of the things that I was looking for. And like I said, at that price point, I like that guy. And so he's one of the ones that nobody's mentioned yet. And guys, I'm just going to come out and say it. I'm not going to talk about anybody in the 6K range unless you guys got somebody special you want to talk about. Who do you got in 6K range?
The highest guy I've got is George McNeil, which is interesting because he modeled out at 50th at 6,500 at 400-1. He's actually got some interesting course history, and he's actually models out as far as the comps go. It's not saying much when you judge the quality of the field, but if you've got nothing else to go on and you've got some little history that should play well, if
nice.
the information's right,
he's 400. He's 400-1.
400-1, yeah.
And with this kind of course history, you know what? He might be worth a flyer.
Yeah, the odds substantial. If there was a top 10, top 20 available, but when I looked, I couldn't find one. But I would jump all over the top 10, top 20, top 40, 30, 40, whatever I can get my
maybe they'll pop up tomorrow.
That's my plan. I'm going to scope it out.
I'll be watching for that one. What about you, Justin? Any 6K guys?
I've just, I based my 6K guys on the model on this one. I like kind of what Guru said. I've not to pass on it, but I've kind of defer to the Guru on the 6K on this tournament.
And so, anybody out there tomorrow afternoon, the article comes out, profile of a contender, and then we'll have both models as well. I think the profile of a contender is just going to be for WGC, correct?
Oh no, it's a special 2 for Wednesday edition.
Oh, you're doing profile of a contender on both and the models for both. Man, that's amazing. Hey guys, you're getting double your money this week. And when I say double your money, that means double your zero. And so, that's amazing. God bless you, Guru. And so, what are you looking at there? Any 6K guys, Pro?
Yeah, I just have two guys down, Jonathan Bird. Both guys are veterans on the tour. Scrappy guys. Johnson Wagner has a mustache that's just fantastic.
He does.
But no, I mean, when we're talking about guys at 6K, I do kind of tend to lead to the veterans as far as if we're picking a guy at the 6K range, which is what we're doing to make the cut, right? We're hoping a 6K guy is solid, and so those are the two guys I have in mind.
Awesome. And like I said, I'll just echo the same thing. I'm going to follow the model. So when you guys get the model, our top ranked 6K guy, if I need one, that's where I'm going. That's just the way it works. It's been working for us every single week. Last week with Furyk, our top ranked 6K guy at 6,400, finished top 28. And so follow the model, guys. When in doubt, follow the model. And let's go ahead and put up the optimal lineup. Here we go. We're looking at the projected optimal lineup. Go ahead and walk us through this one, Guru.
The way everything shook out, there's a lot of pretty balanced people near the top end of the model. So it actually works out to get a pretty balanced lineup, and most of them are pretty jammed near the top. So Grillo was number 1 in the model. Pendrith was 3rd. Percy was 4th. Ryder was 10th. Ben Martin was 11th. And Bryce Garnett is 19th. So to
Think
get all
about that. We got 5 of the 6 guys in our lineup in our model projected 1 through 11, and then we got another top 20 guy in our lowest guy. Is that's sweet?
So you've got your heavyweight in Grillo. You've got your seasoned veteran with some course coastal course experience and Garnett. You've got Pendrith as a young gun with some stats across the board. He just doesn't have the history, and Ryder's got the history, but he doesn't necessarily check out at the comp. So he's one of those wild cards that, you may not think he'd do well here, but he might. And then Ben Martin's one I've been kind of following for a little while too. He just doesn't have the recent form because, he got hot the later part of the summer, early part of the fall doing his KFT thing. And, it didn't quite transfer over into some of the fall events, but he's got the game, he's got the skills, and he definitely fits the profile of one of those young guys trying to make a name for himself. And seeing what he did in a couple of those Corn Ferry tournaments, I feel pretty good about his position on the board. So it's got some lineup with some pop. I mean, may not have it all right, but those definitely some guys that should be in your player bowl, all 6 of them.
I sure like that 623.5 point total there. We're going to see some Eagles.
Gonna need to score here for sure. The winning score is going to be 17, 18 under par, probably something like that, if not a little higher.
That's awesome. Well, hey guys, this is by far our longest episode because we did a double dip here, and I'm so grateful that you guys all came prepared with so much information, so much knowledge, so much course knowledge. This weekend is going to be just for the ages. I can't wait for Thursday morning. And you know what I love about this weekend is we're not on California or Hawaii time.
Yes,
and so,
I can watch my PGA Tour live at like 8 a.m.
Those playing DraftKings, you're not going to be able to get up early Thursday and set your lineups. They're on East Coast, baby. Yeah. And so get those lineups in Wednesday night. And make sure that you refer to our model and our profile of a contender. It's the best published article on golf for these tournaments out there. I'll challenge anybody to provide a better written content than profile of a contender followed with our model. And just DM me if you feel you found a better one. And so I'm proud of my guys. Any final thoughts, guys, before we check out here?
I had one thing I wanted to add because I missed the beginning. I had a little crow to eat from last week on both of my fades. Did extremely well with Molinari and Furyk. Y'all told me, so I just needed to let y'all know that here I am eating it. So I'll be back next week to collect it.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right.
Well, we got you there. I do love the fact that we have so many contrasting opinions on the show this weekend, this week. Multiple fades on Brooks, and I'm playing Brooks. Multiple fades on Hideki. I'm playing Hideki. We got all of us in alignment with Rory, and watch the son of a bitch win the damn thing. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this thing.
Sir.
All right, guys. Well, hey, look, if you're listening on our podcast, please do us a favor, guys.
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe to it. Let us know how we're doing. Give us a comment. Let us know. Help us get better. It really helps us out. On YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, guys, please hit that little thumbs up. It does so much for us. And subscribe or leave a comment. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me not forget about our contest. On our YouTube comment page, go ahead and submit your pick to win. Whoever's first, you lock that pick in. If you win a prize. I'm mailing out. I just got my burger autograph for Ryan today. It's going to be going out tomorrow, so he'll be getting that soon. No winner last week. Nobody picked Max Homa. But get in there and put in your plays for the WGC this week, and hopefully you'll win. And other than that, guys, hey, we'll be back live Thursday night. I'm not sure who else is going to be on there. I know it's Drew, Pro, and I. Guru, are you going to make it Thursday night?
Unless I'm drinking heavily because Grillo just sucked. Yeah, I should be there.
Justin, you going to be available Thursday night?
I'm going to do my best. Thursday is a big work night for me.
All right. Well, if you're not, we'll be there. We'll be there for you. Thursday night, 5:30, 6:30 Eastern time. We're going to talk about what happened, what we saw on Thursday. We're going to talk golf tips. We're going to talk a little gambling. We're going to talk a little grog. We're going to have some fun, and we look forward to seeing you then. Until then, guys, peace out. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for tuning in.
Did you get all that? If not, make sure you head over to Hammercast.com, subscribe, and join the Hammer Nation. Until next time, keep grinding.